Hey, this is Jeff. Welcome to On the Chain. We are going to have a great night tonight. It is great to see everybody on Ripple XRP. You know what? It is interesting that there are multiple articles coming out today. Ripple considering to buy Celsius assets. What do they know? Why are we talking about it? And what else is going on in this space? Because the court case SEC v. Ripple, more news seems to be heating up. It's almost like daily we see daily news heating up and getting excited about the potential outcome here in the Senate considering a Bitcoin bill for what? What's going on with all this stuff? What are we going to talk about it? And when are we going to talk about it? You guys ready to kick this thing off? I think we should go right about. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome to On the Chain. Today is Ripple XRP Day. I want to give a quick shout out to everybody jumping in here. And the best starting out comment of the day, Alchemist, circling the crypto toilet bowl. We are the last pieces clinging to the rim. It is a happy day for the turds. Very nice. Very, very nice. What a way to start off the day today. There's just a ton of things going on. And with XRP heating up in conversation once again, but it's also Ripple is really spearheading this conversation today. And we're going to get into, I'm going to jump right in because Ripple Labs potentially interested in bankrupt crypto lender Celsius. Now they're looking at their assets. Now, what is all this stuff about? It makes it all the way over to CNBC. So we need to check that out. Let me share my screen and we're just going to dig through this a little bit and see exactly what they are referencing. What's up with that? Why is the screen getting all crazy? Like, I don't know if you guys saw that on your end. Maybe it was just on my end, but it was all crazy. So check this out. So we've got Ripple Labs interested in bankrupt crypto lender. Now, there's so many things that are happening over this. Obviously, we saw something that was completely unprecedented on Monday. Not sure exactly what the total impact is going to be from a political perspective, an economic perspective, and a constitutional perspective. But there's some major things going on politically. But now, while all that's happening, actually, the president of El Salvador actually issued a comment on what happened and said, imagine if something similar had happened in El Salvador, and how would the U.S. have responded to that? And I think he's spot on. How exactly? And we know exactly how they would respond. But anyhow, so all that stuff is going on this week. The administration saying there's 0% inflation, all while they're passing these ridiculous spending bills and ramping things up. But while that's going, hey, you know what? Crypto is still moving forward. Crypto is still growing. So we got to stay extremely focused. We want to be laser focused into the crypto space to find out where is this going to be 6 months from now? Where is it going to be a year from now? Where is it going to be 5 years from now? This is the moment. This is really what we're beginning to see, the mainstream adoption, the mainstream impact. Let's say we're at a crossroads right now and we have this the mainstream intersect of crypto. And it's amazing because as this is coming together, we're starting to see all sorts of things unfold. And this is one of them, which is this Celsius bankruptcy. And now Ripple Labs talking about buying Celsius network, or at least buying their assets. So what exactly does that mean? Not exactly sure, but let's dig in. Let's see. Ripple has continued to grow through the crypto market turmoil, which is so spot on. We're entering this massive bear market, but at the same time, Ripple is being sued by the SEC, and we know that the SEC is just botching this whole. And actually, maybe they've done us a solid here because now we know exactly who they are. We know that they do not stand up for the retail investor. We know that they're strictly out for the power. and they're very self-serving. But here we have we know what happened with the Celsius assets that were frozen. But let's see here. So San Francisco-based blockchain payments company, blah blah blah. We're interested in learning about Celsius and its assets and whether any could be relevant to our business. That's interesting. So they're looking at all the possibilities of what that can mean, because Ripple has been on a little bit of a buying streak. Although we also see the lawsuit pending. But here we have a lawyer approved to represent Ripple declined to comment. Celsius did not immediately respond to our request either. Privately owned Ripple has not previously done any major deals, but it is valued at around $15 billion following a private stock buyback in January. So a lot of things happening here. Ripple's total sales of XRP net of purchase were 408 million in the second quarter compared to 273 million in the first quarter. So that's interesting also to look at that when we know about all these other things that are going on with the great SEC. So what do you guys think of that? Throw in some comments. What do you guys think about Ripple Labs potentially buying Celsius or buying the assets of Celsius? And what exactly does that mean? I was reading somewhere that the Cell token is actually up about 109% over the past 30 days. So that's kind of crazy too. But why don't you guys, as you're coming in, give a quick shout out to where you're tuning in from, where are you coming from, where are you guys at, what city, what country, and let's go with that. But too fast for you. Hello, someone from MIT here. I need to sue someone because I think his hair are securities. Someone easy to corrupt if possible. That would be the best. And who's this guy? I don't know if you guys know this guy here. Chip out there listening somewhere in the background. So we got Atlanta in the house. We got Dallas, Texas in the house. Somewhere in the suburbs. Glenn in Chicago. Toronto. That's awesome. So Ripple Labs. Mad Anthony, all the way from Clearwater. What is up? All the way from Clearwater, Florida. So, all right, let's get into, let me just throw some tweets up here. What do we got? So we got Watcher Guru was saying, Justin, this was 8 hours ago, Ripple interested in acquiring bankrupt Celsius Networks assets. That was from Reuters. And there it is. Then we got into that CNBC article. But James, that's some lazy shit reporting, hardly worth reading. Zeldema, sometimes that's all there is. It's not like they sat down with Garlinghouse and interviewed him on this. Now, CNBC, you would think you want to have a conversation, you want to talk about what's going on. Why don't you try to get in touch with Brad Garlinghouse, have a little bit of a conversation with him and see exactly what's going on, because CNBC, which quoted Reuters, as you can see. So interesting dilemma here. Now, what I really want to get into, I want to get into some of this good stuff. Now, some of the good stuff from our buddy John Deaton, because John Deaton has really been, as we know, leading a strong effort to get involved in this case, SEC v. Ripple, to protect who? We want to make sure that we can protect the retail investor. Now, we know that the retail investor has suffered significantly. El Jefe all the way from Okemos. And we got Steve all the way from Australia. We got, what do we got here? Jason from Missouri, Too Fast, all the way from Montreal. We got M from Denver. Man, people are just pouring in from all over the place. I'm trying to see if there's something here. Edmonton, Chris from Edmonton. We got Bradford, DeWalt from the UK, West Coast Canada. Go on. There's got to be someone that's from a crazy country that we haven't read off yet. Got Mick from Phoenix and ex-Roby from Michigan. No, we got a lot of representation that comes in from Michigan, which is pretty okay. Anyhow, so John Deaton, last week, lawyers for Ripple submitted filings to the bankruptcy court seeking to be represented in the proceedings. The court approved the filing earlier this week. Johnny Bravo, hang on. Anybody know how much XRP Celsius was holding? That's an interesting one too. Was there a significant amount over there? What is going on in this conversation over here? Not really sure, but former senior SEC lawyer John Barry suggests XRP is more like Ethereum and Bitcoin doesn't fit the Howey test. Oh, that's pretty good. These are the types of things that we like hearing. But I didn't see that tweet before, so I'm not sure exactly what's in the video. However, here we go. We do have some stuff right here. So this was DAI. A little fun fact he said here before CNBC, et cetera, go through this whole list. We're told to shut up about XRP or the SEC conflicts of interest. Before they hired Jay Clayton, instead of holding him accountable, they believed XRP was a currency. And that's something they're probably obviously discussing here. Will Ripple be added to Coinbase? This obviously goes back a couple years when there was a little bit of turmoil over whether or not Coinbase was going to add XRP. There was a lot of excitement there back in the day when you had to go onto Bitstamp to buy your XRP. So John Deaton follows up here, which is great. To be honest, it bothers me how CNBC has turned its back on retail holders. I've watched Melissa, BK, Joe, Andrew, and Becky for years. My God, BK showed viewers how to acquire XRP. I remember that too. It was crazy. They went in, said, "How do you buy XRP?" And they actually showed you. They went on and they're doing it live on the air. How to buy XRP. They're all fired up about it. He correctly said XRP is not a security. Coinbase did list it, just as BK suggested. But now let's go. He goes on here. Before Coinbase listed XRP, it met with the SEC about listing XRP and told the SEC that Coinbase and its sophisticated security lawyers determined today's XRP is not a security and was going to list it immediately and that unless, and I do remember that. I mean, this was a big issue also. So it's interesting as we go back and really start reviewing. I'm glad that John Deaton is really pulling all this information together, pulling all this history together, because it is all, what happened, what transpired. These are factual events, and it's so critical to go back and have this documented. Now he goes here, Coinbase was going to request to go public soon with its historic IPO. It wanted to make sure that the SEC was okay with listing XRP on the platform. The SEC did not agree or did not disagree with its determination it was not a security, and they listed it. If you guys remember, that was a big deal back in 2019 when XRP was listed on Coinbase. It was a real big deal. And if you remember Jungle Inc. way back, if you're listening to his podcast back in 2018-ish, and he would always talk about, was Coinbase going to list XRP and what was going to be the big ramification if they did? Was XRP, what was going to happen with the valuation of XRP if Coinbase did list it? Now, there's obviously a whole, turmoil here with the SEC at the time. And guess what? Coinbase did list it. Now, I can remember when I stumbled into digital asset back in 2017, 2018, the first asset was Bitcoin, then Ethereum, and then it was buying Bitcoin to move it over to Bitstamp in order to convert it into XRP. That was the process back then. And I discovered XRP. Why? Because it was in the top. It was in the top categories, top crypto assets at the time. And it was interesting because as you look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, I started looking at some of these other projects that were out there, listening to a lot of different podcasts, and then stumbled on XRP and XLM almost simultaneously, and finding out, what the total, purpose of XRP was and the background. And it was so different, really trying to, dig up information at that time. And so it's really interesting as we try to go back and reflect that so many people are getting into this space and knowing that if you were buying XRP, you knew that you weren't buying a part of Ripple, the company. I mean, it was a foregone conclusion, right? You're buying Bitcoin. You're not buying some part of a Bitcoin company out there or a Bitcoin mining operation. You're buying Bitcoin. So if you're buying XRP, you're not buying a part of Ripple. It was all about where was this going? So there was big identification recognition at the time of Bitcoin. And it was that first advantage. It was the technology. It was the excitement. It was the promise at the time of moving away from banking, and that was this whole ideal of what Bitcoin was presenting. But then you realize that in the real world, as of 2018, even to now to 2022, in this real world, you weren't going to move away from a banking infrastructure. The banking infrastructure has continued and is going to continue at least for the next 15, 20 plus years. It might change a little bit. The dynamics of our affiliation with it, our how the inner workings might change, especially as they move to this digital asset platform. But this notion that we could do without the banks was just really uh, incorrect, at least at that point, 100%. And so that's where I looked at XRP and I said, wow, if this is going to be used for transfer of money, movement of large volume of money within the banking system, and it could do it transparently, and it could do it efficiently, almost instantaneously, and do it inexpensively. It was I saw that as really an amazing solution that had a lot of legs, that the technology itself was going to go really, really far, meaning the XRP ledger and XRP on its own. And so that's how I was looking at it, and then I look at Ripple as the, one of the primary companies at the time that were building in order to utilize the asset. And so then you start looking at the crypto space. I never went back and looked at Ripple and said, what do I need to do to, invest in? What's their balance sheet? I never looked at their balance sheet once after acquiring XRP. And I would almost, guarantee that probably 99% of anyone who's bought XRP never once looked at the balance sheet of Ripple to say, hey, are you guys generating a profit or not generating a profit? What's going to be happening? What are you projecting for next year's revenue growth? It's interesting, but people weren't looking at that as you're looking at all of the different parameters when you're buying a stock and saying, what are your sales? What's the direction of the company? Are they in debt? Are they not in debt? Nobody was doing that when you were buying digital asset. So anyhow, John Deaton goes on here. After the SEC approved Coinbase IPO with XRP listed on the platform, 5 months later, after the U.S. government wouldn't allow Alipay to buy MoneyGram for national security reasons, Ripple was allowed to acquire 9% of MoneyGram. Now, remember, and this is such a solid point right here. So this had to have been approved by, guess who? The SEC. So the SEC had to approve the entire transaction with MoneyGram, including the movement of XRP to MoneyGram, which they knew would then be sold on the open market. And MoneyGram at the time was also utilizing the ODL for foreign currency exchange. And they were doing so extremely successfully and saving a significant amount of money. So now here, the SEC disclosure form informed the SEC and the public that Ripple would be transferring XRP to MoneyGram for use in cross-border payments, right? So what part they used, again, the ODL, the on-demand liquidity, was being utilized in foreign currency exchange. So it wasn't being used in the day-to-day, but it was being used for FX, and they were saving a real significant amount of money using that. The SEC allowed this back in June of 2019, if you guys remember. After all this, former Chairman Clayton, now a CNBC contributor, voted to sue XRP. So what exactly, and here's the interesting dynamic of all this, what kind of backroom dealings or backroom conversations were taking place between Chairman Clayton and Gary Gensler at the time? At what point did Gary Gensler know or assume that he was going to be nominated as chair of the SEC? Now, this is coming as he served previous under Obama as chair within the CFTC. So what did he know? When did they know it? What exactly was happening when they decided to drop that bomb on Ripple? Now, Clayton filed a case as he was walking out the door. This was the day before. So he actually left his position a month early. But the day before he left, the last thing he did was drop this lawsuit on Ripple. That was his last action. And then he left the next day. That was it. So he filed the case as he's walking out the door under a mountain of conflicts of interest and appearances of impropriety. It's not hyperbole to describe this case as the most significant non-fraud SEC enforcement action since 1946, which I believe in this case would probably be, if he's referencing 1946, I'm assuming, I could be wrong, maybe he's referencing the Howey test or Howey at that point. Now, here we have John Deaton goes on. This case was filed after XRP was traded for, get this, and I know you guys know, 7.5 years. 7.5 years it was traded for. And after all I've described, oh, by the way, XRP was already the first regulated crypto in the US when FinCen declared it a convertible virtual currency. Ripple was mandated to comply with U.S. banking laws, not secure. So what happened? This is really a major ordeal here. What happened after this point where FinCen declares it as a convertible virtual currency, mandated to comply with banking laws, not security laws, because it's not a security? So what happened? What transpired? Now it's kind of crazy, and John is really breaking down some amazing topic here. So here, the FinCen settlement was 2015, 5 years before Clayton dropped the suit. For the first time in 76 years, the SEC is claiming an asset itself is a security. And this includes people who trade it in the secondary market who have no connection with Ripple. So could those oranges have then been securities? Can gold be a security? Now, here he says, John goes on, go ahead and ask your fancy and high-priced lawyers at CNBC. In every single case since Howey was decided in 1946, there has been some level of privity between the promoter selling the asset and the purchaser. But now the SEC is claiming with XRP, you don't need such privity. Now, it's unreal. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Now, one of the things that Chip and I talked about the other day, and it's interesting because John Deaton is bringing this up, is that because of this unlawful expansion of Howey, over 70,000 XRP holders from the U.S. and 142 countries around the world joined the fight, the SEC, to fight the SEC and fight back against the unlawful government overreach, including people who bought XRP after watching BK do so. Now, what's interesting here, what's really interesting is he talks about the unlawful expansion of Howey. Now, one of the things that Chip brought up is that, yes, we have this Howey test because that was the case outcome. And they're then using this case outcome to then identify whether or not other assets are securities. However, Howey isn't a law, it's a test. So the thing is that if they try to claim that it is then a law, only Congress has the authority to write law, not the Supreme Court. Now, we just saw one case that was overturned in terms of by the Supreme Court in terms of the outcome, saying that the Supreme Court did not have jurisdiction to do what they did, and therefore they sent it back to the states where the true jurisdiction and authority lies, in the hands of the people to vote on it themselves as to whether or not they want it to be law or not law. But it's not up to the Supreme Court appointed individuals to write law. Now, the question is, and based on this unlawful expansion of Howey, is that same logic then, can it be applied to this Howey test? Can the Supreme Court take up this case of the Howey test, saying this is an unlawful use of authority, and the Supreme Court did not have the authority to write law of what is or what isn't a security, although they established this test? Can they then throw that out? I don't know. I'm not sure. This is just something that Chip and I discussed the other day, but I find it interesting because we do see a complete overreach and an overzealousness by Gary Gensler of the Howey test when he looks at one prong of the Howey test and not all prongs. So he goes on. We actually asked the judge to force the SEC to sue us and become defendants in the case. We did this because by claiming all XRP including XRP traded in the secondary market, independent of Ripple, are unregistered illegal securities. We are practically speaking being sued because that's what they're saying. It doesn't matter where you bought it. Even if you bought it in the secondary market, it is then considered a security. I mean, it's so asinine the way they contrive this whole lawsuit. So now, despite all of this craziness and despite the magnitude of this case and what is being argued, CNBC is silent. Now, can you imagine? This is kind of like par for the course with the media, that the media is staying completely silent on all of this, considering the fact that, and John was right, back in 17, 18, CNBC came on, this is 2018, came on live on air and was showing people how to buy XRP live on the news. And now they're completely like, they don't even want to talk about it. Like, not even a true reference of it. I'm not suggesting CNBC take a side, but my God, you showed folks how to buy XRP. And BK said, I'm not a lawyer, but there's no way XRP is a security. And it just keeps, this is gold. This is absolute gold. This content here is amazing. I mean, it's just like, it's unbelievable. Huh. So it's insane, right? Now, don't you feel any obligation to at least report the story? Why not? Is it because Clayton is a contributor? You feel no obligation or ethical inclination to report our story? You ask Clayton a question one time knowing he'll duck it. I just think you owe your audience more. I mean, it's so spot on. I mean, I don't know what you guys, your thoughts are on this. I'm kind of trying to read through and see what you guys are doing, but it's crazy, right? I mean, it's unreal. Let's see. FinCen left it open for future litigation by other agencies. I mean, right? This is just like, you can't have double jeopardy, period. Howie Mandel test. Deal or no deal? Brett says no deal. Brad tells you, the SEC, no deal. We're going the distance. We're going the distance. That's it. It's great. It's insane, right? I mean, everything that is going right now, it's just, everything is upside down. Everything's a little bit ass backwards, right? So, all right. So John Deaton then continues. Oh, I forgot. Speaking of craziness, the SEC not only objected to the very people they claim the lawsuit was filed to protect, it asked the judge to revoke amici status and bar amici counsel for participating further. She declined, but it might make a journalist pay attention, you would think. But there are no journalists doing journalist type things. No journalist integrity any longer, unfortunately. Want to give a quick shout out to Gen Z from Atlantis. What is up, Gen Z? Sorry, it's about 15 minutes late since you put that up there. I want to give you a shout out and say thank you for that. And also K HUD, mine. We got to gather it all up and make sure you don't give any of that back. So, all right, John Dean just doing a phenomenal job. Ready money. The SEC should be required to wait 7 years to enforce their rules and all their future cases based on this precedent. The SEC lost all credibility. So it's amazing, right? Every agency right now, every agency. Now, Clayton was obviously there, before all this chaos ensued, but from that point forward, it's like every agency has lost all credibility, right? The Department of Justice, the FBI, the SEC. I mean, just across the board, right? Throughout the halls of Congress, the different committees in Congress. I mean, it's just like, what in the world is going on that we have such chaos, just such insanity. Man, it's like what in the world is going on, right? Manipulating the gold and silver markets. Doug, what is up? So, and we go on and on and on. I mean, it's amazing the work that John Deaton has put into this thing, just absolute dynamo for the space, absolute dynamo. So got my workout schedule stuck to my desk over here. Anyhow, so here we got. So there's a new bill that's circulating right now in the Senate, and this new bill is classifying Bitcoin as a digital commodity. Now, it said it could be introduced today. Now, all right, I was looking. I don't know. I found this here is in their Bitcoin magazine. I find this interesting because why? Because it's specifically classifying Bitcoin. If this goes through, don't think it'll be voted on. Don't think it'll pass. It's in the Senate Agricultural Committee. So see if they actually proposed it, if it actually anything here. But what's interesting about it though, it's a move in a direction of making it a commodity. So the category of digital commodity is fairly new. Currently, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, oversees the regulation of derivatives of commodities rather than underlying commodity itself. So what do they want to do? They want to empower the CFTC to regulate spot markets for digital commodities, which means the regulator would be given the ability to regulate the underlying asset itself. What I like about this statement, digital commodities, not Bitcoin commodities. So I like the idea that they can label it as a digital commodity. So we'll have to really see, but let's see what else is going on here. The bill will also exclude securities from simultaneously being labeled a digital commodity. So an actual security cannot be automatically labeled as a digital commodity. Therefore, any and all cryptocurrencies labeled as a security would fall under the SEC rather than the CFTC. What kind of witchcraft is this? What is going on that they're proposing a bill to single out Bitcoin and then everything else? But this is all this is really saying is if it was already labeled a security. So XRP is not labeled a security at this juncture. Therefore, it would not fall under the jurisdiction of the SEC because it is not a security. It's not a security. If it is a security, then it would fall under the SEC. But if it is not labeled, and just because they have an opinion on it does not make it so. So therefore, the lawsuit. In fact, the SEC has already made multiple appeals to crypto exchanges, suggested they register. Really, they want them to come in. They want them to register. And what are they going to do, Chip? Then they are going to sue them. And they're going to come after them with everything they've got. Why? Because the G-Man is out there to protect his buddies in the big financial infrastructure, and he wants them in on the action. And it's not right that all these other exchanges got in to the action first. So I think that's a big part of it. So what else? What else? David Scottsdale, Ripple owning all the assets from Celsius would give them instant liquidity for swaps. That's interesting. Give them a lot of liquidity. They get some interesting technology, a lot of interesting things going on over there. Let's see here. Go down the list. Okay. All right. So anyhow, so here it says, however, the bill reportedly includes an exclusion for a person if said person's involvement in the ecosystem is solely because that person validates digital commodity transactions. While this could be a boon for those who directly involved in the trading of Bitcoin, there is still room. So this is just crazy. You know how I know this is crazy? I'll tell you primarily how we know. Forget about I don't know John Boozman from anyone else in Arkansas, but I know who Debbie Stabenow is, and I can tell you 100% that if she is involved in this, you don't want any part of it. That's it. I don't care any way, shape, or form. If she has her fingerprints on this thing, I don't want any part of it. The CFTC chairman, Ralston Benham, a former staff member of Stabenow, stated the regulator is ready and well situated to oversee spot markets regularly. I don't trust them. I don't trust that they're doing the right thing. I don't trust that they have us retail investors in mind while they're doing this. I know that they're doing this for two reasons. One, to try to generate and make money. And two, power. That's it. That's the only reason why they're working on this regulation here. There's definitely a power struggle between the SEC and the CFTC and those who make the deal and move it to one of the agencies here. They control the power, and that's exactly what Debbie Stabenow is trying to do. So cannot trust. I don't trust this bill as far as I could read it, and there's not much in here. So that is what we've got about that. So what do you think? What do you guys think about that? Gary has a twin. It's like Twin Peaks. Gary's brother looks very similar to Gary. That's exactly it. I like that one, legendary. That was SEC. Come on in, come talk to us. Come, let's analyze your exchange. Then you're screwed. Then forget it. You came in, you shouldn't have done that. Because now that you're in, we're not letting you back out. How about that? So Honda, let's see, XRP going up. They tried to shut the cameras off in Mar-a-Lago, New York. Both. There was a lot of stuff going up. Is XRP going up? I didn't see what was going on with XRP. So I don't know. So let's see what else we got here. Got some other good stuff in the XRP crypto related space. Here's another one. Let's pull this one up. What is this? I don't like it. Actually, I like it, but I don't like it. So what? Maybe it's actually a good thing. Let's find out, because it's a Visa card. What I don't like are Visa cards right now where you can spend your crypto. I mean, I know it's good because some people have a mass amount of crypto and they want to spend it. James Rule, get paid in crypto. You got to spend your crypto. But overall, I know the technology is going to be critical here in a year or so. But anyhow, for right now, what's great about this, though, I think this is really, really cool, because this is a CryptoSpend. Let's see what it says. So it's a rewards card. The company responsible for Australia's first Visa-backed crypto payment card have launched Australia's first XRP rewards card program, rewarding crypto card users up to 3% in XRP within the same day of a purchase. So you buy something, you get 3% of the value back in XRP. How cool is that? You know, I mean, a lot of these credit cards, you're getting percentages back in dollars. How amazing would it be if your percentages come back in XRP and you just start accumulating XRP every single day you buy something? Every time you buy something, immediately it gets converted to XRP. I think that's phenomenal. What a great idea to reward people, especially as you move forward into the future. And you look at your accumulation of XRP 5 years from now, you're like, holy shit, I can't believe how much money I made by spending money. How great is that? 3%. I mean, that's pretty good. I like it. This announcement follows a strong start for CryptoSpend. They've experienced solid growth. Again, this is in Australia. Despite the drop in the crypto market prices during the start, more and more Australians are using crypto. Is that true, Australians that are out there listening? Are you guys using crypto for everyday items like groceries and online shopping, entertainment, cinema tickets, and food orders? Is this true? Are you guys spending your crypto already? And if you are, Australia, like Japan, is always like light years ahead of where we are in the US. I don't know what it is, but it always seems like Australia is a little further ahead in technology, and Japan is like light years ahead of the US in technology. It's like mind-boggling. I remember when I was in undergrad, and I remember this friend of mine, she was from Japan, and we were studying, and she had this device, and it was like years later when I was in law school, I got one, and I would use it to scan stuff, and you would scan it, and you would it was a scanner. You would scan your text. So here she was scanning, it would translate stuff as she was scanning it. And this is like, there was nothing like it in the US at the time. Nothing. I mean, it's so crazy how far ahead they are. But Australia buying stuff with their crypto. But here, we've seen the popularity of Australians using crypto for their everyday spending increase massively. Not only have we seen a huge increase in people using the card for spending crypto, but we've also seen our repeat users increase daily. This is amazing. I mean, talk about growth, of business. And again, XRP. So it was XRP panic. It was short term. Short term. I was there about a year and a half, and then I got really sick, and that was the end of that. That was the end of that. But that was I was going for my second degree. I'd already gone to I had a master's in economics, and then I was deciding I was going to go further after I was already working full time, and I just ran myself into the ground ragged, and that was the end of that. That was the end of that dream. No, it was good. It was good anyways. But anyhow, Greg said, what makes this XRP rewards program so unique is customers can top up and spend AUD off the CryptoSpend card and still earn up to 3% back in XRP rewards. This kind of repeating over and over again, but I'm loving it. We have customers at 80 years of age. Is that true? Are there people 80 years old that are using their CryptoSpend card to buy cakes? Well, I guess if in this case, but I would like to know more about that card. We got to dig in a little bit more. Made it last year, blah blah blah. Anyhow, I don't know. Australia's just doing some really cool things over there. Can make your money in XRP, which is interesting stuff. All right, what else we got? What is this? This I'm just gonna throw up a bunch of tweets that we came across. I don't know, relevant, not relevant. Let's put this one back up. Ashley Prosper, attorney Matt Salmon is hitting hard in this response. Indeed, the SEC cannot put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's clear to me that the Ripple team knows XRP or something incredibly similar was discussed in the Hinman speech drafts game, set, match. So what do we got here? James Filan, Ripple defendants have filed a response to the SEC's objection to Magistrate Judge Netburn's decision on the DPP issue. It's like every day, this thing just keeps moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. Now, let's go. Jeremy Hogan, this I've been looking forward to. It's just like, come on. Let's get this thing going. We got just good things happen. Everybody's fired up. Everybody's got some good commentary here. Wrath of Conman. Favorite line so far, the SEC apparently realizing belatedly the legal implication of its efforts to characterize the speech as a personal outside activity of Hinman, sought to put the toothpaste back in the tube and rely on self-contradictory lawyer arguments. It's so amazing. They seem to forget that there's a record, that there's a tape here someplace that people are looking at. So anyhow, crazy. Bitburn. No, I'm not familiar with Bitburn. Anybody know what is Bitburn? Do not know. Let's see. MIT. Yeah. I went to MIT and study with Gary. I was studying crypto with Gary at MIT. It's funny. SEC superior egotistical cucks. A lot of stuff here. All right. What else we got here? I love these. I like, going through Twitter sometimes is just a blast when you see the commentary and just what everyone's getting into here. So here we go. Oh, yeah, I got the right one. I was looking, I've got my the other screen. Okay, 100%. Remember, Mary Jo White was chair of the SEC until when? January of 2017. Clayton replaced her when? May of 2017. Andrew Seresny was enforcement director until December of 2016. Matt Salmon was enforcement chief litigation counsel until December of 2016. They are on Ripple's defense team. What? Say it ain't so. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. So this is it. Yeah. So you've got all these guys. Matt Solomon. Remember, we're just reading that. Enforcement chief litigation counsel. Where? Oh, yeah, at the SEC. How great is that? How great is this? Mary Jo White, chair of the SEC. So who are Ripple's lawyers? You know what? They're ex-chair representatives of what? Oh, yeah, the SEC enforcement director. They remember how Gary Gensler is always about the enforcement, the pillars of enforcement. He loves the pillars of enforcement. So it's just outstanding here. For example, the drafts and communication may touch upon what and how much was previously told or not told to market participants about their digital assets that are similar to XRP or XRP itself. That discovery may reveal what information the individual defendants and or market participants had in determining whether a digital asset was a security. I mean, this is like circumstances, sales of digital assets could be security offerings because Hinman's speech helped shape the character of digital assets and commerce, as well as the expectations of. So, you know what so they conceded to those points that they were actually utilizing statements from Hinman. These documents may reveal what information the market had and therefore what character XRP was given in commerce. Now, the part of the problem here as well is that since Congress failed to act and formulate legislation, then you have the chairs of the SEC that are able to then mischaracterize or characterize or then rely on statements that they made in public that they're then trying to retract and make it stated as though it was personal opinion, but it really wasn't. But then there was market reliance on the fact that they made those statements. There's so much going on, so much ambiguity, which is the way they love it. They love the ambiguity. Why? Because it keeps people nice and confused. And then they get to do whatever the hell they want to do. And that's super, super problematic. So, what do we got going on over here? We got James, the Ripple defendants have filed a response, right? So Jeremy Hogan now, Mark Phillips. This is a nice statement here. What did Mark Phillips have to say? We kind of missed it in the previous one. It's been a whole hour already since FinLaw posted this new doc. Where's the explainer video? We like Jeremy. Follow because your profile pics are awesome. There you go. It's always great to see a little discourse within the community, a little bit of humor within the community, a little bit of conversation about everything that's going on here. So this is interesting. I don't know how I missed this. Let me see if I can pull this off here. See if we can pull it up. Oh, there we go. I can actually play this. So this is kind of interesting. I'm glad people are posting. You know what's amazing about Twitter and just the community at large? You know, we get this amazing community and people are just, remembering to post stuff up on Twitter and just get it out there to the public to get to for us all to watch. But let me play this. Hang on, let me stop my screen. I'm going to share my screen just in case I did not click audio. And we're going to throw this up here and play it real quick.
We will build internally.
Okay. Of course, now it's going to cycle. Let's see. Let's try it again. Here we go.
We will build internally.
Great, Twitter. Great.
Carbon credit initiative is something we've kicked off internally, but we've invested in over 30 or 40 companies around the crypto ecosystem, and we'll continue to look at opportunities to grow through external acquisitions also.
And of course, the market's not great right now, but is an IPO on the cards at some point?
Well, I think
that was interesting, right? 30 or 40 interactions, and they're looking for more acquisition. I think that definitely shed some light on some of the things that are going on. Now, this is the SEC's mandate is to protect this from Stephan Huber, the Main Street investors, because they have less information and are weaker than Wall Street. But then why do Main Street investors have to pay $1,000 for being able to listen when the SEC speaks? You gotta love it. You gotta love it. This whole thing is just crazy stuff. People, all sorts of research here. People posting all sorts of stuff here. Barclays Bank. What do we got here? I don't remember how old this stuff is, but there are all sorts of, amazing things when they start talking about the crypto asset space. And for the most part, the banks back in the earlier years, when they're referencing the crypto assets, they're really just talking about some of those at the very, top of the list. So without going into full description of the market, versions now exist on a spectrum from centralized current payment and clearing systems to fully permissionless systems with pseudonyms, users such as pseudo-anonymous. pseudonymous, whatever, users such as Bitcoin. Alternative systems include Ripple, which uses both financial institution and its own nodes at the core as the transaction processing entities, in Ethereum. So it's just interesting how there was a lot of conversation about the space, and then what we began to see, and we don't know exactly what to reference or exactly how to reference, the decision to then single out, certain crypto assets. Say hey to the people.
Hi.
Came to talk crypto. Yeah, very cool. I like the setup.
Yeah, dude.
All right. He's getting ready to start his own crypto channel. Not crypto. YouTube channel.
Yeah.
All right. He's going to start his I said crypto again. All right. He's going to eat. Got sushi in the fridge. All right. Very cool. Enjoy. He's going to start his own YouTube channel with Rocket League soon. Been talking about it, plotting and planning for a while, and now he's fired up to get it started. So he will soon be going there. So yeah. So very cool. So what else we got here? What else do we have that could be really interesting? There's all sorts of great stuff that people have thrown up here that we haven't seen before. Let me see if this is playable. Hang on. Let's see what this says. See, these guys have anything interesting to say? Cryptocurrency regulation, enforcement, and litigation. Let's see if this is interesting. Hang on. All right. We'll see if this is worth watching for a minute and referencing. Let me see. See if we can pull it up real quick. We're full screen, and let's go through and play this right quick.
Where's the yellow bit?
What?
The yellow bit.
It's in the fridge.
I can't see it.
It's in the fridge, top shelf.
All right. Bye.
All right. Or bottom shelf. I don't know. You can't miss the sushi. Okay. All right. Yep. All right. Where were we? All right. Let's try to play this.
In litigation.
John and Mike, I mean, you're listening to Steve or even just looking at SEC filings. All you do is apply this 80-year-old Howie case and SEC wins. That's it. Open and shut. I mean, are there defenses or is it hopeless?
Wow. So easy. You just apply the Howie test and it's done. Done and over with.
Well, what's interesting, I mean, it goes to what I was talking about earlier, that, 2-3 years ago when the SEC started bringing all these cases, most of those cases, I think, for the most part, clearly fit within Howie. There were people who were using these tokens to raise money for something that hadn't even been created yet. And it was clear that they were marketed that way, and it was very clear. The SEC, I think, has gotten more aggressive. I think that the Telegram and Kick cases, I thought were pretty aggressive cases. And I certainly would put Ripple in that category. I mean, you look at Ripple itself. I mean, it's a token that's been around since I think 2013.
Why can't people get this right? I don't know what year this is from, but we're talking about Kick and we're talking about Telegram, so it was recent. Still referencing XRP as Ripple token. Now, come on. So let's see. All right, let's go on. Let's go on. Saying some important things.
And it's a lot like this other currency called Ether, which is a lot like Bitcoin. Ether started, and the founders of Ether used the token to raise money to help build its platform. And now Ether is out there and can be used just like Bitcoin to buy goods and services. But the SEC has not and has never brought a case against Ether. And so I think that's an interesting comparison when you look at Ripple and Ether being so similar. Now, the SEC is going to point out certain things about Ripple that could make it different. Ripple, they would say, marketed its XRP, it's kind of an XRP token as an investment. Its founders made money by selling it. Ripple's not quite as decentralized as Bitcoin. Bitcoin has, I think I mentioned earlier, these people called miners that.
Really funny how they're explaining it, and they're trying to explain exactly how it works, and that, trying to explain the mining aspect being decentralized, but whereas with the XRPL and not being decentralized, where in fact running all these nodes makes it a lot more decentralized. But interesting how he talks about ETH. How do they distribute Ethereum? But we're also, again, remember what John Deaton was talking about, secondary market as a security as well. So what are these guys even referencing at this point?
Third parties who are not affiliated with Bitcoin at all, or just third parties out there making money by confirming these transactions, which is called mining. Ripple doesn't really do it that way. It's one of its sort of what it advertises as a good part of the way its token works. It doesn't have these miners.
It's really great to see. We start seeing these conversations outside. I don't know who these guys are, but he's a partner, I assume a lawyer, or maybe, I don't know, a lawyer or a CPA. But really, I'm finding it, fascinating to see these conversations taking place and getting into it. And, the fact that he's explaining the different aspects of the crypto space. I mean, right now, what we're seeing is that crypto is reaching everywhere at every level. XRP is reaching to every level. The conversation of Bitcoin, Ethereum, we're not seeing a lot of reference to others, but it's great because this guy, John, was directly, referencing and discussing the points of, of this. And so it's just really, really, outstanding to see, how this is prayer. I think this is, such a net positive to see these conversations and just to see how they're, whatever their opinion on it is. And you can see how he's trying to dissect it. But again, meaning that it's going to the next level, which is just really outstanding. Let me just pull this up. I'm just finding it, fascinating. People are finding things like this, these conversations and posting.
And these miners have to, instead it has what are called validators who are more.
That's it. All right. But he gets into it. That's what we just discussed. I think this is just great stuff. I'm just really loving how we're starting to see more and more and more discussion across the board on everything. And it's just really, really important at this point. And here's another statement that just came out. And this is why, when we look at, some of this commentary, but this one from LBRY, the law is applied equally to all cryptocurrency. It's just applied more equally to some. So, that's fascinating too. That these types of statements that LBRY really came out, swinging really, really strongly, regarding what's been going on in this space. And obviously they were at the epicenter, they were, singled out by the SEC. But this is just, it's great. I'm just like seeing, sometimes good news, bad news, different is really, really important as we start, seeing more development in this space. And it's great because we're still here, and we're still going to be here 10 years from now, 15, 20 years from now, regardless. There's just some big obstacles to climb. Nothing that is going to create success happens overnight, and nothing beneficial is always easy as well. So something like this that is really going to revolutionize and change, how we interact financially, with money, moving forward through the future. Obviously, it's going to be met with major resistance. But the positive note is that we're seeing building going on all over the world, everywhere we look, regardless. And the resistance that we're seeing from the SEC and other entities in different parts of the world it was a kind of a foregone conclusion, or, an obvious conclusion that, that these guys would do this. So that's my take for tonight. Chip and I will be back on again Saturday. As always, you guys are the best and the brightest in the YouTube crypto space. We appreciate all of you guys. It's amazing having you guys on here with us. And that's what I've got for tonight. That's it. We'll check you guys out on the next one. I am out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.